Gents, I just want to pause the episode for a moment to let you know about the Strong Men of Value Academy. You will have heard me refer to it a number of times, and I want to bring more attention to it. So this isn't just a program, it's a life-changing environment and community of men who are focused on personal and professional growth. We're looking at areas of relationships, wealth, and health, things to help you thrive and maximize your life. Imagine having bi-monthly one-on-one coaching sessions with myself, weekly group coaching calls, and an incredible brotherhood of high achievers by your side. Now we're diving into resilience, leadership, and holistic growth to not just succeed in your career, but to thrive in your health and your relationships. Your journey to greatness, it starts here. So join the movement and you can apply for the Strong Men of Value Academy. You can head to thementhatcanproject.com to find out more. The Man That Can Project podcast, a podcast empowering career-driven men to live more fulfilling lives. We are here to challenge your beliefs, redefine success, and talk about the important stuff in a relatable way. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. My name's Lachlan Stuart. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Man That Can Project podcast. I'm your host, Lachlan Stuart, and today we got a quick, short, sharp episode that I believe is going to give you some very insightful tips around building an environment that is going to help you create the life that you want. So out with the old, in with the new, and building a supportive network for a better life. Now, we're going to go through 5 key points or 5 key areas of what this can look like so that you can make it successful, and just things to be aware of, because as many of you know who have been listening to the podcast for long enough, you'll know that there was a point in 2014 where I really shook up my living situation and also the people that I spent a lot of time around. And I know that there are many of you listening to this who may be in a similar boat, and you feel like you may have or maybe growing in a different direction to some of the people that you're surrounding yourself with. You just feel stuck. So first point we will cover is recognizing the negative influences and the importance of removing them from your life. It's very important to have the self-awareness around there to be able to knock that one on the head. The second one is the benefits of surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people, also a key one to focus on. Third one, different ways to build a supportive network. So seeking out like-minded people, joining clubs, using online communities to build that for yourself. Fourth is overcoming challenges and obstacles when building a supportive network. And then finally, the long-term benefits of having positive and supportive relationships and networks in your life. So it improves, obviously, mental and emotional well-being, increased motivation, and accountability to achieve all of your personal and professional goals. So some key points. Now, before we dive into it, are you ready to take control of your life and build the strength you need to achieve your goals? And you look no further than our Strong Men of Value Academy. It is something that I'm extremely proud of. And just recently, we launched our starter program. Now, the starter program kicks off from just $50 a month, so $12.50 Australian a week. And it puts you in a position to get our comprehensive training program, our monthly mindset coaching modules emailed to you directly, and access to our 12-week game plan, which helps hold you accountable and build your self-awareness. So starting, as I said, just $50 a month, you'll have the support and accountability to reach your full potential. So you can find out more and sign up today if you head over to the Man That Can Project /memberships. Let's get into it. So the first point, recognizing and removing negative influence is so crucial for achieving a better life and a more fulfilling life. It's very important to think about, what ways, shapes, and forms those negative influences can come through, whether it's, toxic people. We've all got a couple of those that, are just generally bad people. Every time you're around them, they just don't give off a good vibe. They impact your mood. Maybe they tear you down, or they're continuously tearing other people around, or just doing manipulative, condescending behavior. That's something that I think is very important to be mindful of, and something to keep your eyes and ears peeled to look out for. Some other things is really important to, be mindful that the negative impacts of those relationships can improve your own well-being. Sorry, not improve. That's definitely not happening. It can definitely not improve your well-being. It diminishes your well-being and opportunities that you have in your life. You look around you, right? Think about this. There are some people that you're well aware of that you just don't want to spend time with. And maybe some of your mates currently are spending time with that, and you sit there scratching your head going, why on earth is Johnny hanging out with Freddie? Freddie is a complete piece of shit. He doesn't treat people with respect. He is constantly manipulating and lying. But for some reason, Johnny continues to hang out with Fred. Now, if that's the case and Johnny keeps bringing Fred back into your environment, you need to have a hard word with him. You need to say, look, I don't get a good vibe from Fred. Whenever I'm around Freddie, it brings my mood down. I don't like how he treats others. I don't like how he lies and manipulates. I don't want that in my environment. Now, if Johnny continues to do this, right, then you may have to take control of the situation and remove yourself from that friendship in times when Freddie's there. I hope that's making sense to you. It's putting you back in that driver's seat on, really removing those negative influences from your environment, because when you can do that, it can have a significant positive impact on your life. Because if you think about the compound effect, or if you think about momentum, right? When you're hanging around good people, and think about the last time you spent time with someone that you felt so motivated by being around with. And if you could build an environment where every person that you were spending time with continued to add layer upon layer on that motivation and that knowledge, it'd be pretty cool, right? And that's what we need to think about. But when you sprinkle in the negative people in there, the toxic people that aren't adding value to life, that halts your momentum, because you need to shift your focus from the motivation and the excitement that you're moving towards to go, fuck, how do I deal with this person? This person's killing my vibe here. So just be very mindful of that. You need to learn how to recognize and remove those negative influences. And once again, this is why the game plan is such a useful tool for those in the academy, because every day you're reviewing your day, who you spent time around, how that time added value to your life. And you're going to be able to go, look, the time I was spending with such and such wasn't adding value to my life. And if you spend time with that person enough and you keep getting the same response, there's a light bulb moment, right? You probably need to distance yourself from that person there. So I guess in summary to that one, recognizing and removing negative influences is an important step in achieving a better quality of life and really being able to design something for yourself and improving your well-being along the way. You're the only person who can do that. As much as you may have external influences saying, hey, distance yourself from that person, you ultimately have the control to do that. So definitely be mindful of that if you want to improve your quality of life. Let's go to point 2. Just going through my notes here. The benefits of surrounding ourselves with positive and supportive people and the impact that it has on you achieving your goals and improving your overall quality of life. Now, surrounding ourselves with positive and supportive people can have a huge impact on your life. If I reflect on how my life's changed, and as I've grown and my interests have shifted and I've become more clear on how I want my life to look and what I want to create for myself, it's highlighted the conversations that I'm having, how I'm spending my time when I'm catching up with mates, and the impact that actually has on me creating the life that I want. A lot of you can probably relate to this. You feel like you're here to create some pretty cool stuff and you want to achieve some big goals. And there are times when you're hanging around certain people, or you may be going to certain events, and you feel like you're moving in the completely opposite direction for where you need to be. That's a normal thing. So when we start thinking about the flip side of that, imagine if the people that you were surrounding yourself with were moving you closer to where you wanted to be, or having the conversations that you got really excited by. Think back to 2 weeks ago when I had Liam, Luke, and Brad on the podcast, and I was saying, even at Christmas, while we were having beers and catching up, the conversations that we were having excited me. I felt like it was changing my perspective on what I could create for my life, how I could do business, and moving me towards the goals, where previously the goal and the intention around Christmas was probably just to get drunk and talk crap. So the benefit of that and the ripple effect of that and the compound effect of being around empowering and supportive people is huge, right? Those people may even encourage you to take risks that you may not have taken. And when I say risks, it could be leaving a job that you don't like and pursuing a career that you love. It could be signing up for a marathon or pushing yourself physically when previously you may not have done that. So I think having that support network there is going to improve your well-being. It's going to help you manage your emotions and also really build momentum towards creating the life that you want. Even when you have those flat days, which we all have, when you have good people who can lift you up when you're feeling down, it's only going to make your life better. So really start thinking about the people that you may already spend time with right now who make you feel like that, right? The ones that do support you, the ones that do have a positive impact on your life. And I write their names down, circle them, and probably or definitely start spending more time around those people. See if there's anything I forgot there. Nope, all good. So let's go to point 3, the different ways how we can go about building a supportive network. So we don't ever really remove things from our life. I'm a big believer we'll always find a way to fill that space. So if you're removing time with certain friends, you've now got room for more friends to come in. And knowing what you know now from listening so far, you probably want to bring in people who have similar values, are going to help improve your quality of life, right? They're positive, they're supportive. That's what you're looking for. So we need to seek out those like-minded people. And as I was saying in the intro, you can join sporting clubs or just clubs and groups. You can utilize social media and so many online platforms. It's one of the reasons why we offer our academy online, because I know there are so many men around Australia who have similar interests to myself, where they want to find more direction and meaning in their life. And you, learn those tools through building their mental and their physical fitness, right? So if you look into what it's all about, it is a big component of building yourself physically, because I connect on a physical level because I've grown up playing sport. Sport's a big part of my life. Pushing myself is a big part of my life. And I know that, I always use this saying that I would work with anyone or would allow anyone into the academy if I would have a beer with them. And generally, if people aren't into fitness, maybe I won't have as much in common with them. I don't want to spend a whole heap of time around them, and not because I feel like I'm better than the individual. It's just common interests and building rapport and having an environment of people who want to move in the same direction. So we've got this academy that now provides that for men who go, fuck, I really resonate with what Lockie's saying. I want to get around more people that he's hanging around. That's what the academy ultimately is there. It gives you that mateship, perspective, and community and accountability to achieve the fitness program and the mindset modules and the growth and things that you're working towards. So think about this, right? Building that supportive network is extremely important for that better quality of life and a more fulfilling life. So think about ways that you can build a more supportive network. Ultimately as well, with this one here, you do need to work on creating a vision for yourself and how you want to show up and what people you want to bring in, because you can find support. You might be able to find mates who support you to chug 1,000 beers. You might be able to find people who support you to do anything. So make sure where the support's coming from and where it's guiding you towards is ultimately where you want to go. That's a really important thing. But ultimately, if I was to have to find friends all over again, I would do more of what I love. So key point, don't ever lose hobbies and don't ever stop trying new things, because it helps you understand yourself more. It helps you connect with like-minded people. Ultimately, that's super simple. Is there anything that I kicked off there? Obviously, striking up conversations with people who share similar interests, it's always fun, right? When you're talking about something that you love, it's hard to stop talking. It's awesome. You feel valued, you feel heard, and that's what we're all looking for. So in summary with that, building a supportive network is important for a better and more fulfilling quality of life. So like I was saying, social platforms are a great way. Our academy, if you resonate with what I'm saying, is awesome. You got, doing more of what you love on a day-to-day basis, whether it's training, surfing, music, whatever it is for you, figure that out and just do more of that in a social environment. Let's go to the next point. So the role of self-reflection and self-awareness ties in with our game plan. You need to be clear on the things that are going on in your life, what makes you feel good, who makes you feel good, and what doesn't. So you can cull out what doesn't and do more of, and see more of who does. And a lot of that comes through self-reflection. So if you're not scheduling time to reflect on how your day goes, you're missing out on a big opportunity to understand who you are and what you want. It may sound tedious. You may have that excuse that you don't have time, but you really can't afford not to if you're, committed to wanting to create a good life for yourself. And that's something you ultimately have to put the time aside. And, you can do it in as little as 5 minutes a day, really. And if you follow our game plan, literally put it beside your coffee machine, do it while you're having your coffee in the morning. There's some self-awareness for you. You're starting to piece things together. You're starting to think and connect the dots around who you are and what you want, as we've ultimately said. It's why it's such a key part for our Academy members, and they go from one game plan to the next game plan while ticking off goals and understanding more about who they are as men. So what else have I forgot here? Obviously, examining our thoughts and feelings and behaviors, crucial part. If you don't understand your, emotions, or let's talk about emotional intelligence, which I have another podcast coming out in a couple of weeks where we're diving into more detail around that. So I won't dive into too much of that now, but it's really important to start putting some time and energy into understanding how your mind works. You can watch videos and listen to things like this, or, I see a psychologist and do a lot of stuff, but ultimately they're navigating you. And you can continue that navigation through journaling and practicing that self-reflection and really asking yourself questions around why you think a certain way, why you're feeling certain things in certain environments or from certain experiences, right? You're starting to piece those things together. But the more you understand yourself, the greater control you're going to have over your life ultimately. Anything that I've forgotten there? I think for me, ultimately, that's been a key thing in helping me get what I want from my life. Because as I was talking about earlier, in my younger years, I had people who supported me with sport, with rugby, with drinking beers, chasing girls, all of those sorts of things. And it was awesome. But as I also mentioned, there was that feeling inside where I wasn't being my authentic self. And what I mean by that is I just felt like the way that I was acting and behaving didn't feel right. And so when I became aware of what were the things that I was doing that wasn't making me feel the best, I started thinking, okay, well, I need to change that. But I also need to have a group of people that can help me change that and, break and replace habits to become the man that I want to be. And that, to me, is a big thing that holds so many people back. They have these limiting beliefs and environments. And I truly believe that the best way to, create a huge shake-up in your life is change your environment. Don't worry about all the other stuff. The other stuff is important. But if you could only do one thing that I believe you'll get the best return on your investment, change your environment. It's that simple for me, because when you change your environment, you're going to start thinking, acting, behaving like the ones that you are spending the most time around. So if you've got a weight loss goal, hang around people who are doing the same thing, right? They're going to be talking about it, or people who have achieved it actually even better, because they're going to continue to remind you on what you need to focus on to gain the outcome that you're looking for. We've got two more points and we'll be wrapped up. How long have we been on for? 17 minutes. We'll be done in 23. 6 more minutes. Bear with me here. So the potential challenges, right, when you're trying to shake up your friendship groups and build new mates. So once again, for the long-time listeners, you'll have heard me talk about how when I was changing my group up and starting to behave and act in a different way, I had people, my old mates, make Facebook pages about me, picking on me and bullying me and trying to, make me come back down to earth, or where they wanted to have me. And that's hard, right? It's really hard to see the people that you thought should support you to create what you want, try and tear you down. It's also going to be, there's a heap of key points that come from that. Obviously, the difficulty of connecting with others was a huge thing. So I moved from Toowoomba to Brisbane, and starting from scratch, I needed to work out how I could connect with others. I only really knew sport, so I couldn't really connect with others in talking about politics or music or various other things. So it was a real struggle for me in that field, which then left me feeling like I wasn't confident in myself. I didn't want to use my voice to create conversations. So it's a difficult situation to find yourself in. But connecting with others is a skill. Building rapport is a skill. And what I was fortunate to do is I started catching public transport, started Uber driving, and played a game where I could try and really build rapport with people by asking questions. The goal was either to get told to fuck off or have a really incredible conversation with people. And as a result of doing that for a sustained period of time, I learned to, and I now have this incredible skill to build rapport with people really quickly. So you can develop the skill to connect with people quickly, but you may also be limited by the fact that you find it difficult. So you need to decide whether you're going to put in the work to develop that skill, or you're going to have that as a reason why you can't. Next thing is obviously a limited social circle, depending on where your environment is. Think about this. If you're living in the middle of Australia, the center of Australia, the closest beach is probably, I wouldn't even know, let's just say 5,000 kilometers away, a fair way away. It's going to be hard for you to have a social circle of surfers, for example. They're probably not going to be in that environment. The same with me when I wanted to earn $1 million. I didn't have any millionaire mates. They weren't in my social circle. I wasn't connected with them on Facebook. I couldn't walk down the street and talk to one. So to have access to learn from a millionaire was not in my sphere. I had to really change that social circle and really learn to network and, I guess, zigzag my way through meeting people and eventually getting connected with some millionaires who had what I wanted and the lifestyle that I wanted, so I could learn from them. And the way they thought, the way they acted, and the way they behaved could start rubbing off on me, right? You may have the difficulty, right? The challenge of lacking time and resources. Very, very common one. So many people say, I just don't have time to get out and network. I don't have time to go to this event. I don't have time to spend on a weekly call where you're networking with men from all around the world. Okay? Common challenges that people face. But also one of those things that you either need to make a decision to change or you're going to stay where you are right now. And that's the only, you have to make that decision. Time, when you learn, I guess, discipline around time, you'll have more freedom. So difficulty finding people with similar interests or values can also be a challenge. And a lot of people have that because they don't understand what they value. They don't have hobbies anymore. And especially, I feel people who have been in a role or a relationship for such a long time, they've forgotten who they are or they haven't enjoyed time with hobbies. You need to get out and just start doing things again and start figuring out what that is, because when you do that, like I said, you're going to connect with people who have similar interests and values. A few other dot points which I'll brush over. And once again, we'll be doing a course on this in our academy. We offer courses in the premium level on so many things, and I'll be turning this episode into a course where we'll have worksheets and stuff that you can actually go through step by step to recreate and rebuild that environment and community that's going to serve you to create what you want from your life. So make sure if you want to go through something like this, join the academy, the premium level, not the starter one. The starter one, you don't get the courses on demand. They'll get emailed out one thing at a time. So done there. Any other challenges that I feel are worth sharing? I've got a heap of notes here. Key one, making an effort to initiate and maintain connections with others. Life's busy. You can forget about people. You can be messaging across WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, text, email, and you can lose the thread of where people are up to. It's not as simple anymore as opening your messages and going, okay, I've only got 10 mates and I talk to them all the time. Here we go. You might have your messages from your 10 mates jumbled in between a heap of business text messages and spam text messages that you forget about people. And it's not because you choose to forget about people, it's just life gets busy. So making sure that you find a way to keep the effort in there to do that. We'll leave all those other points. I'll leave that for the course in the academy. The final one, and just before we finish up, the long-term benefits of having a positive and supportive network key is improved mental and emotional well-being, increased motivation and accountability, and the ability to achieve our personal and professional goals. So once again, a little bit of a recap is having a positive and supportive network can have long-term benefits on your overall quality of life. As the things that I've mentioned, you want to have increased social support because when the tough times comes, which they do, that's life. You want to have those people around you who can, pull you up through that, and vice versa. When the roles reverse, which they always will be, you want to have that as well. So in summary to that, having a positive and supportive network can only greatly improve your quality of life, and your emotional well-being, motivation, accountability, and building that supportive network is going to be extremely important. So let's wrap this one up. I hope that this has been extremely helpful for you and you've got some key points to focus on and even some actionable steps that you can do depending on where you are in this point of building, I guess, your network and your supportive crew. If you want a framework to go through, definitely you can use this and you can do it yourself, but check out our premium version of the Academy and the courses. This will be there available, which will be awesome. But in summary, self-reflection, self-awareness are critical to be able to identify those negative influences in your life, and it will also put you in a position to determine the kinds of people that you want in your life. It's so important and something that is definitely undervalued, and don't look at it as you feel you're better than other people. It's just you got different values and beliefs, and that's completely fine. It also helps you identify which situations you want to find yourself in, what experiences you want to be having, and what experiences and situations you want to avoid. Rather than going, I'm always in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's a poor excuse for why you're not getting what you want from your life. So building and maintaining that supportive network is going to take time. As with everything, it requires consistent daily action. It's like you don't go to the gym once and be buff for life. You've got to go repetitively over a consistent period of time to get the results and continue to maximize the results. The same with your relationships and your network. So making sure once you decide what you want your environment to look like, you put in the effort, you develop the skills to build rapport and build those relationships, and then you continue every day to continue investing in those relationships. So if you got value from this episode, make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all of that sort of stuff. It's currency. It helps me bring on incredible guests to educate and answer questions that you may have. And if you could leave a review, that would be incredible. My name is Lachlan Stuart, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lachlan Stuart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time. Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lachlan Stuart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time.